Yo, that was fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome. Not quite what I expected either. I saw some people in the chat saying it wasn't what they were expecting. I think I can say that for myself too. It wasn't necessarily what I thought it was going to be. Um, and I think that the way that it started, I thought it was going to sound more like that, a little more way out. But I think that most of all, I really enjoyed, and you'll see this as a running theme in albums that we listen to here uh, on the morning show, especially if they're big artists. I'm always very interested in, like, when it comes to artists on that scale, like the conversations that they're attempting to have in the music. That's the most exciting thing for me, because I feel like with artists on that scale, if they're trying to have interesting conversations, challenging conversations, introspective conversations, excuse me if this sounds a little hyperbolic, but I genuinely believe those things help to move the culture forward in some very important ways. I feel like a lot of the stagnation um, in culture is based on a lot of the giant artists not really trying to have any conversations about things, not trying to grapple with things, not trying to struggle with things, not trying to analyze things or pick them apart, but more celebrating the status quo. And I feel like that helps to perpetuate the status quo. I feel like an artist like Tyler, um, having an introspective conversation about parenthood, not that that hasn't happened before, but more specifically, an introspective conversation about masking one's sexuality, especially in the black community. That's a very important conversation to have with the layers of cultural garbage that's been heaped on top of sexual expression in the black community that somebody would have to fight through to be okay with themselves. To hear somebody like Tyler start to have that kind of conversation, I just can't help but imagine all the seeds that get planted with something like that. Do I think it's revolutionary and it's going to change the world overnight? No. I just think in baby steps, it can turn out to be one of the more important small advancements that we've experienced, especially for an artist that millions of people are tapped into. So for that alone, like I appreciate the album immensely. I mean, there's a lot of things that Tyler does automatically that are just going to always make it a high quality product. His attention to detail with production, his ambition with musicality, painstaking mixing choices. Um, Always, you can tell that he's always attempting to create something that's novel. And that alone is just going to make it sound so much different than everything else. And, you know, we're just fortunate to have artists like that, to be honest. We're fortunate to have an artist like that who's managed to connect and be large and influential. Because, and I believe I said this last time we talked about Tyler, I think on paper that shouldn't exist, especially for a black artist. I wanted to show y'all something, but I have to look for it for a second. Because given what I just said about Odd Future and and my and my crew's reaction to them when they hit the scene, you might find this really interesting. I'm about to show y'all a video on my YouTube page from 14 years ago that has 29,000 views. At the time, it was probably the biggest thing on my channel. This is live from the front row. I was in the front row at Low End Theory for Odd Future's first show in LA. The first Odd Future show in LA. I was right in the front of the stage and I recorded it and I put it on my YouTube. This is from 14 years ago. So as much as we were somewhat bitter about them, we also, well, I can just take responsibility for my own hypocrisy. I was right there in the front row and somewhat excited to see it. This is back when they were OFWG GKTA. This is back in the Tumblr days. This is Odd Future from Live at Low End Theory, their first show. Low End Theory was something else. Look at these, they were children. Look at them, they were children. Look at me with the little phone camera work. Look at that bass, it's crazy. He always looked old in a young body. Yeah. Anyway. That ain't my shit anymore. It's gone to somebody else's old shit. But the album's hard. I'm glad we played it. I'm glad it came out. I'm glad that we peeped the rollout and all the snippets and everything. I think it set the table for us pretty well. For those that don't know, this is the morning show. Like and subscribe, homie, friend. It's free. Stop playing.